What's going on YouTube? Big Dawg Brett. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share somewhere down here. I don't know. I don't care. A whole bunch of stuff going on. I know I haven't made a whole lot of videos here lately. I've been quarantined and busy with the house stuff. Did a lot of work on the house, put in some garden stuff, got plants growing, built some shelves. This is a whole bunch of stuff. But that's not what we're here for. So I wanted to make a video to talk about kind of the news update of what's going on. I'm always uncomfortable about how my hat sits and how it looks on the camera. So if you see me messing with it, I always feel like the G is too far to one side or the other, and then I try to fix it, and then ended up like spinning it the wrong way because I'm looking at it reverse. So yeah. Anyway, I want to make a video about some of the news and stuff that was going on, just to kind of talk about some of the stuff I've seen across all of college football. So this video is going to cover a whole bunch of stuff. So I know there's fans out there that, I know Georgia's not your team. I promise you guys, I'm gonna try and do a better job of covering more content just besides the Georgia stuff, because there is a lot of stuff out there that I could cover and probably do a much better job of. Thank you. Yeah, that was me. So anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about, because it seems like we can't get away from it no matter what we do, is the pandemic. And you have to be so careful about what you say as far as the pandemic goes, because YouTube is quick to limit your content if you mention a certain pandemic. It's ridiculous. There has been a lot of misinformation about it or whatever, but this one is the most recent one that I feel is absolutely ridiculous, and I really want you guys' opinion on it. There was a poll that was put out by Seton Hall University, Seton Hall, I don't know how you say it. Seton Hall's University's Stillman School of Business, with a whopping grand total of 762 people was polled. In this poll, they're saying that some 72% of Americans polled said they would not attend a sporting event, if sporting events resumed without a vaccine for the pandemic. I really feel like that number is not even close to being accurate. I feel like that number is so far off to one side. It's first of all, I don't know who you're polling. I don't know who you're looking at. I mean, if you're polling a whole bunch of like elderly people that have breathing problems, yeah, they're probably not going to go. But if you poll a whole bunch of people that went down to spring break, you're probably going to find a whole bunch of them, if they like college football, would go. So I'm asking you guys, I know a lot of people here are college football fans, but I just want to get you guys honest feedback as what you guys think is. Would you go? Would you not go? What's your thoughts on that? Me personally, I don't think I would go. I have my own reasons for that, but I would love to go to a game, but I don't think it has to be a vaccine in place before I would go to a game. I think a lot of this stuff would just kind of have to be past us, and then I would probably go. If I had the ability to go, finances, that sort of thing. But the one thing I did notice is at the bottom it said more than 3/4 of the people, 76%, said they would watch broadcasts of the games without fans and do so with the same amount of interest that they had before the pandemic. I feel like that number is ridiculous as well, because probably out of if there was 100 diehard college football fans all in one little ball right here, right? And you said, hey, would you go to a football game? And they would go, maybe. If 76% of those people said, yeah, I'll go to a game. Okay. Or no, I won't go to a game. I believe 100% of those people would still tell you, though, I can't go to the game. Oh, I'd definitely watch it. I'd definitely watch it at home. I'd watch it for sure. So that number, to me, it doesn't make sense. So it tells me the kind of the base that they have going on there isn't really tapping into the right kind of information you would want to pull from. But I digress. So let's jump over. I'm going to talk about Texas A&M. Chancellor said this is some good news. At least to me, it seemed like it was good news. The Texas A&M chancellor says full football schedule could occur with an October start. And you read through this, and as you get closer to the bottom, by the way, it does mention in here that the season is scheduled to start on August 29th. There's like 7 games being played. I think I made a video about it. And then after that, pretty much every college in the country is starting. But then as you get further down in there, the guy says, hey, we think that we can come to a conclusion and probably start football as late as October and still have a 13-game schedule. So that's good. That means there's conversations in the talk, or at least they're talking about having all the games, not just the SEC conference or just your particular conference game. This is talking about having all the games. So that's really good news. The other thing that he said is that our focus is on preparing to play the season as scheduled. Now, whether that means as it is scheduled currently to start in August or to play it as scheduled, which means the same opponent the next week as the week after that, as the week after that, as the week after that, but starting in October. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff up in the air. We'll get to it when we get to it. We'll find out more as we go down the road here. So. Okay, let's see here. The next thing I wanted to kind of touch base on was the Navy's athletic director, college football Navy team, not the military service branch of the Navy. They don't have an athletic director. I don't think. The one I'm talking about is the one over college football. Anyway, so the Navy's athletic director is optimistic that the midshipmen will still face Notre Dame in Dublin. And as you read through the article here, it's really interesting. I like how the title, this is what the title says exactly. Navy's AD optimistic midshipmen will still face Notre Dame in Dublin. Okay. I like the title. And then you go a little further down and it says Navy Athletic Director Chet Gladchuk, I guess that's how you say it. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, sir. On Thursday, that he still expects This is what they're paraphrasing as. His actual statement, the first lines they say is, "We're gonna play it." Gladchuk told ESPN, "We expect this to pass. We're not naive. We're 5 months away from that game beginning. There's a lot that can happen in 5 months." The first thing the guy says is, "We're gonna play it." But the title of the article is, he's optimistic. Okay. Now, here was the really cool thing. Like, you read a little further into this article. It said both schools have sold out their ticket allotments for the Aer Lingus College Football Classic 2 weeks ago. And it only took 75 minutes to sell out the 6,000 tickets online, the remaining 6,000 tickets online in Dublin. He expects to about 65% of the attendees will come from the United States. So 35% of the attendees is the 6,000 tickets there. So that would mean, rough math, there's about 30,000 people going to be there. Not a huge stadium, but certainly be fun to watch. Obviously Brian Kelly, he's cautiously optimistic, but he really hasn't said too much on the matter. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting the way they had that labeled at the beginning. The Navy's AD is optimistic. We're gonna play it. All right. So now I'm gonna throw a little shade over here at athletic director Gene Smith. Buckeyes AD Gene Smith said, "If it's not safe for fans to gather, why for athletes?" Well, sir, allow me to answer your question. It's a lot easier to test players and staff before the game to make sure they don't have any symptoms than it is to try and test 100,000 people at the gate. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. You can somewhat control the environment for the athletes and the athletes, the coaches, and the staff, but you cannot. There's no way you could. I won't say no way. It's highly unlikely that you would be able to control the environment of 100,000 people at a game. Yeah. So, Mr. Ohio State athletic director guy person, sir, if you're in charge of a whole college, I kind of understand where you're coming from. You want to protect the players, but I don't think you thought that all the way through. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's do a little better next time, sir. All right, let's jump over to a little bit of Georgia news. Former player Todd Gurley is going to be playing for the Falcons. If you missed that, he actually signed his contract about an hour. I think the news came out about an hour and a half ago. He posted on Twitter. The Atlanta Falcons posted on Twitter. It says "Welcome home," and it shows Todd Gurley signing the actual contract, which I think is really good. I think it's really cool to see him come home to Atlanta. I think he could do good things for the ball club. Where is it at? Okay, so here. Okay, now some down news. I am so glad that this is the only bad news that we've had come out of the college. Typically in the off season around spring, I start getting really nervous. I'm wondering which player is going to get in trouble. It seems to be a phenomenon that Georgia is known for. Somebody getting caught doing something and getting in the news about it. It's been a problem for years. Last year it was J.J. Holloman. He was supposed to be our number one on the ones team, which is the starters. As a number one receiver, obviously that hurt us late, as the games went by. But this year I just kind of been going, when's it gonna happen? And then the pandemic came around, and most of them's been locked inside. I don't know. Maybe this is a grand design plan of the college football to keep all the players out of trouble. I know that's not true. Okay, so since we made it this far, before I get into that, I want to tell you guys, I recently got approved to be an Amazon affiliate, associate, partner. I don't know what it is, but here's the way it boils down. If you'll look down in the comment section in the description, you'll find a couple of links. One is for the Amazon Fire Stick. Let me back up a little bit more before that. I can never seem to tell a story in proper order, so just bear with me. If you want to help the channel out, liking, subscribing, and sharing is awesome. It doesn't cost you anything. If you've made it this far, please hit like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to add this little section into pretty much every video I do from now on. We've brought the channel a long way from where we started out. I've certainly learned a lot, and it's all due to wanting to make this content for you guys. But my eventual plan is to grow the channel to something much bigger and much better, and provide better content and more content for you guys. In order to do that, I've got to find a way to help support the channel. And I really don't like saying, "Hey, can you give me money? Hey, can you give me money? Hey," because that just always makes you feel cheap. I just don't like doing it. But I found a way that you can support the channel without spending any extra money, without having to give me money directly, and without signing up for PayPal or any of that stuff. It's really simple. All you have to do is go down there to the Amazon links I have listed below, click on one of those links, and you don't even have to buy that item. If you buy that item and you buy additional stuff to go with it, then hey, it helps the channel out, because the Amazon will give me a commission for whatever you guys buy. So it's a way for me to make money for the channel to get nicer stuff. And I really want to get a new webcam for you guys. I don't like this webcam. It's better than what I've had, but I want better. And some more lighting, and maybe a better microphone, and mixer boards and all kind of fun stuff. But when you buy that stuff from Amazon, they give me a commission, and it's not much. But if I can get all you guys to do that at your own, whenever you go to buy stuff from Amazon, just come here, click on a link, and I have I have my favorite coffee listed down below. I've got Red Bull listed down below. If there's something that you buy on a routine basis from Amazon, let me know, and I will put that link on one of my videos, in all of my videos. And that way, when you come back and you say, you know what, dude, I buy X kind of shampoo every single month from Amazon. That way we can work together. You still buying stuff from Amazon, you're still paying the same price, but you're helping to support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you have something that you buy on a routine basis and you'd like to see me add it to the channel so you can help support it, just drop a comment in the comment section. I'll be glad to get that link from Amazon. I'll post it down below. And then anytime you go by, hey, you can help out the channel. Appreciate it. All right, enough of that stuff. Let's talk about some of the recruiting violations that Georgia self-reported. So, the newly reported violations brings the list to 5 since January of 2019. Some of these are straight up and down face palm. I can't even believe it is a freaking rule. It's ridiculous. And you'll see as we go along. These violations are all level 3 violations, which are listed as a breach of conduct. Level 4 are classified as incidental issues. Level 3 violations are isolated or limited in nature, provide no more than a minimal recruiting, competitive, or other advantage, and do not include more than a minimal impermissible benefit. Blech. The very first one is a hoodie violation. A football violation dated October 25th. This is last year. And involved a recruit getting a hooded sweatshirt out of a current player's room during a recruiting visit, and it falls under the impermissible recruiting inducement NCAA bylaw. UGA provided rules clarification to the player who's owned the sweatshirt, and the recruit repaid the value of the hooded sweatshirt to a charity. It was October 25th. A recruit came to campus, and it was cold, and he didn't have a hoodie, and he didn't have a jacket. So while he was visiting with a UGA player, the UGA player gave him a hoodie to wear and just said, here, dude, put the hoodie on. I don't want you to freeze to death. Player wears the hoodie and takes it home. No big deal. It's a hoodie, right? He just didn't want the guy to be cold. That's a violation. Face palm number 1. Can't believe that's a violation. That's the dumbest rule I've ever seen. It's a hoodie. Maybe one of you guys can tell me what this means, where the term came from, because I don't get it. But it's called a bump violation. That's right. Hoodie violation number 1. Bump violation is number 2. This football violation occurred on October 30th and occurred when a staff member inadvertently made impermissible contact with 2 junior prospects at their high school per the report. The prospect approached the staff member. The prospect walked up to the coach in the school's lobby and engaged in limited dialogue. The coaching staff member was subsequently pulled from off-campus recruiting duties for 15 calendar days, and was also prohibited for in-person contact with the prospects involved for 30 days, and permissible visits to the prospects were reduced by 2. This was on the gymnast team. The gymnast team also self-reported 2 secondary violations. You mean to tell me that a coach is walking around a school, which he's allowed to do, he's walking around a school, and 2 people walk up and talk to him? Is he just supposed to sit there like this? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. What recruiter in his right mind would do that to a player that you're trying to get to come to school? Those kids would be so ticked off. I know I'd be ticked off if my son came home and told me, or my daughter came home and told me that, hey, I just saw Coach so-and-so from the university or whatever, and that rascal wouldn't even talk to me. You know that, Dad? I said, do what? What do you mean he wouldn't talk to you? Did you say hi? Oh, yeah, I said hi. Well, did he see you? Yeah, he looked right at me. He was 2 feet from me. But he wouldn't talk to you. He just stared at me like I wasn't even there. I'd be like, I thought they wanted you to go to that college. Well, that's what they said, but I can't believe he wouldn't even talk to me. You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? That would be ridiculous. Somehow that's a bump violation. You bump into somebody? I don't know. I don't know. Suite access. Number 3. Gymnast team member was reported for impermissible benefit when she accessed a field suite with a former student athlete during the first half of a home football game. As a result, the gymnast paid back the value of the suite access and was provided rules education. I don't know if they was doing something in that suite or not doing something in that suite or just hanging out in there watching the game or having a beer, making out. I don't care. None of that's the problem. The problem is they accessed a room. They literally walked into a room. And somehow that's a violation. She is a gymnast team member. And she accessed it with a former student athlete. I don't get that. Who comes up with these rules, man? This is another one that's ridiculous. So we got the hoodie. We got the bump violation. We got suite access. And now impermissible meals. And that ain't the only one that's meals, by the way. The report states a representative of athletics interests, which usually means like a coach or staff member, bought 3 gymnastics athletes meals at a restaurant. The meals cost less than $25. The representative is now prohibited from accessing the UGA gymnastics locker room without a staff member, being in the gymnastics competition area without a staff escort, and making contact with members of the gymnastic team outside of the athletic department's function without an institutional staff member present. There were 3 other self-reported violations involving other sports. Now this one, I think if you read into it a little bit, you're looking at this guy's got to be escorted anytime he's around other students. But it's the meals he bought that's the problem. And it's not like it was one-on-one. There was 4 of them there. There was whoever this person was. And then there was 3 women gymnastic athletes. He bought them something to eat. Have you ever been a college kid? I mean, you pretty much live off SpaghettiOs and ramen noodles and Bud Light. I mean, that's what you live off of. And pizza. Somebody wants to buy you something to eat, you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. Let's go. I don't understand how that's a problem. You're trying to feed somebody. But again, whatever. Then we got softball meal money. That's number, hold on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We on number 5. We on number 5. Softball meal money. An institutional staff member impermissibly provided players with $15 of what the report classifies as post-travel meal money after the team arrived back from a team building function. Rules stipulate meal money is only permissible following travel to a competitive event. So you can give them food money, but only after a competitive event. You can't give them food money if it was just a team building project. We don't want you to go hungry here, but you got to go hungry over there. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. Here's another one about the equestrian. That's horses. This women's equestrian violation is a result of an institutional staff member posting a social media message that involved a coach attending a non-institutional athletics event that involved prospects. The social media post was removed, and the rules education was proved to the, I guess that was supposed to be provided, to the offending sports staff member. A UGA staff member goes to just an equestrian event that non-institutional that had prospects at it. Man, this could have been the rodeo, right? You got a UGA staff member goes to a rodeo, and there's some prospects that the colleges would like to have come there, and they're at this event. Maybe they took a picture or something, but man, this whole thing is ridiculous, man. I mean, I understand that you can't like take these kids on the Disney World and stuff like that, but just being at an equestrian event, I mean that's ridiculous, man. Anyway, all right, and now it even gets into the golf. The coach impermissibly sent an email directing a prospect's coach to pass a message along to a recruiter prior to the first allowed date on the recruiting calendar for electronic correspondence. As a result of the violation dated January 30th, Georgia can't provide any additional resting materials to the prospect involved until 60 days after the first legislated permissible date for distributing recruiting material. So a golf coach, sent an email to a recruits coach telling we'll just call him a high school coach. The college coach sent an email to the high school coach telling him to pass a message to the recruit. This is how granular this stuff is, man. What could he possibly say that is so absolutely, just overwhelmingly convincing that it would result in a violation? I guess I should just be grateful that we don't have players getting arrested for weed and passing out in parking lots and getting kicked off the team for domestic violence, but this just seems ridiculous. I mean, you can say, what an idiot, that guy put his hands on his girlfriend, he's got to go. Yep, 100%. I found out J.J. Holloman did that. I was one of the first people to say, get that guy out of here. I don't care how good he is. But stuff like this, I mean, I don't believe there's a college in the country you couldn't put under a microscope and find these problems. I am pretty flattered that UGA was able to take it on the chin and tell it to, volunteer that information themselves. Shows the integrity of the college. But, man, these rules are ridiculous. I don't see how anybody keep up with all this stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to do an update. I wanted to do a video on something besides narrating a college football game. Just, I'm still looking into doing the Twitch thing. That's a whole different animal, though. It's kind of interesting how that works. So I know a lot of you guys don't know anything about Twitch. Listen, if you can learn YouTube, you can learn Twitch. So easy. We'll get there. You guys, thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Really appreciate you guys having you guys here. Wish I could learn how to talk. It'd be great. Have a great day. God bless. And wash your hands. Go Dogs.